Good morning, everybody. This is Judith A. Cope. You're listening to Mad Love. Let's get into it. So, I don't even know where to start. I haven't had real coffee in 2 weeks. I'm drinking this mushroom coffee, and it's okay if you make it with milk, which I'm sure is not. I use oat milk, which I'm sure is not what they want you to use. I'm sure they want you to use water, but it tastes like really terrible dirt without cream in it. So. It is what it is. But I have noticed I'm starting to sleep better. And you gotta understand, I've been a person that's had a cup of hot, very caffeinated coffee most of my life, every day since I was 11. My dad used to make coffee, and I'd have an old man breakfast with him. It was like coffee, some bacon, some toast, maybe an egg. And we drink a cup of hot coffee. Oh, and we had a percolator when I was in grade school. Time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator. I have to sing that song every time I say percolator because, house music all night long. Yeah, so it's different. I haven't had headaches or anything, but I definitely have had moments where I was like, dude, I want a strong cup of coffee. But I didn't drink it, and I'm starting to see some of the benefits of not being overly caffeinated. And I don't seem to be getting dehydrated. Now, I work really hard on hydration. So it's recently come to my attention that someone I know and didn't share at all that he had this has congestive heart failure. And so that's the one major health thing I've had. And I know exactly how bad you feel when you have it. So for me, I had high blood pressure, didn't know. And then I went to urgent care and was misdiagnosed with some sort of upper respiratory thing. And she put me on all these decongestants, and it sent my blood pressure through the moon. And I just kept taking it because it kept helping me breathe. I even went to Denver to see my cousins. And so blood pressure gets higher on airplanes. I didn't know that. And it just was like, what? And so all this shit happened, and it turns out, by the time I went to the hospital, they were like, your left ventricle is not working. And I was like, what? And it was just crazy. I was out of breath. My fitness was terrible. And I'm like, I know I'm fitter than this. What's happening? And yeah, it was scary. It was really, really, really scary. And to find out that someone has just been walking around with this and didn't change their life at all it's really fucked me up all weekend. Like that's really where my mind has been like, I know how bad that feels. I know the aches, the pains, the exhaustion, the heart fluttering, all the heart palpitations. And then to like not change your diet and just have that is insane to me. That's crazy work. And I've just been noticing a lot of people die from congestive heart failure. And while I was afraid, I just made up my mind I was going to heal my body from it. And to the point where me and the original doctor I went to, we were fighting because he just did not see me as a healthy person. And I'm like, I'm healed from this. And he'd be like, you're not supposed to be healed though. I said, yeah, that's great, but I am. And he goes, but you should still be sick. And I'm like, but I'm not. And he goes, how do you know? I said, because I don't feel like I felt when I was sick. I don't feel anything like that. That's what I try to tell people. When you're dying, you're dying, whether you're conscious of it or not. But if you're a with it person and you kind of understand what's going on around you, you're not living. You feel your cells dying. You feel your organs dying. You can tell it's not right. And so the point should be you go to the hospital, you get your diagnosis, and then the doctor's going to tell you what they tell you. No, I made up my mind. I had my nephew bring my laptop to the hospital and I Googled everything except congestive heart failure. and what it was supposed to be like. And I just Googled, how do I get my heart healthy? I stumbled upon a doctor, Dr. Mark Hyman. I talk about him all the time. I know Dr. Oz gets a bad reputation, but I first became aware of Dr. Hyman on Dr. Oz's show. But then I started to do my research on him and I started reading his books. And I changed my health with his reading his books. He's a traditional doctor, but he got frustrated and became part of this movement or created this movement called functional medicine, where you go and find out what's causing all of this. And over the years, you know, you you start to just keep reading, and I kept reading Dr. Hyman and um, Dr. Perlmutter. I follow him. He's a neurologist. And there are several doctors out here who are frustrated, just like you are, with traditional medicine, and they go and start looking at root cause medicine, and they get on these podcasts and they talk, and you start to say, oh, okay. And so for me, what I learned from Dr. Hyman after I got out of the hospital, I did the traditional thing, like you limit your salt and you limit all these sugar for sure. If you have ever thought you had cancer or you have a cancer diagnosis, do not eat sugar. Sugar feeds cancer cells. Um, don't eat it. My cousin called me the other day saying she was eating margarine. She was having a healthy breakfast, but margarine, I was like, throw it in the trash can. Margarine is plastic. You're better off eating butter, but get yourself some grass-fed butter. Your brain needs cholesterol. So there was a scientist who was I watched who was basically saying that wave in the 70s really hurt people like my mom because they were like, we're going to save your heart, so eat margarine. And margarine was terrible for your body because it's just plastic. And we went through our margarine phase, country crock and all that, and it was horrible. It's not good for you. Eat butter or coconut oil or nothing, but don't eat margarine. It's plastic. So learn about food. I always suggest Dr. Mark Hyman. So this person who has the congestive heart failure would never do anything that I'm suggesting. And I changed my diet, and people are like, you don't make enough money to be shopping at no Whole Foods. And I'm like, look, you're either going to buy food or you're going to buy medicine. You get to decide. You can use food as medicine, or you can just keep taking all these pills. And I still have to take my blood pressure medicine. But at the same time, you know, I've had a lot of my medications lowered. I certainly am not on the dosage of pills that I was when I got out of the hospital. I mean, they had me on so much medication, I could barely keep my eyes open. And I just slowly but surely just stopped taking that much. I was like, I can't function. I can't even go to work like this. And then you take that water pill and you damn near run over everybody, women, children, you jumping over folks trying to get to the toilet. Furosemide. I remember the name because it's like furious peeing. It's like, oh shit, and like I couldn't live like that. So then, and I wasn't swelling up. So you take that because of the edema. I mean, listen, the medical system in America is designed for you to stay sick. Because I said to my doctor, I said, I can't take that. I'm running all over the place and peeing all, like, you can't hold that urine inside you, which is graphic. I'm sorry, but if you've ever taken a water pill, you know what I'm talking about. So then he was like, well, just cut it in half. And then I was like, I don't need this. So now I take it as needed. And I probably haven't filled that prescription in 2 years or more. I have a prescription in there, but I don't take it. Because I drink water and I exercise and I eat fruits and vegetables and I don't retain water. I do lymphatic drainage. I take care of my body. And I'm saying all this to say, like, your health is so important. If you're not healthy, there's nothing going. Your show is not a real show. Like, that's it. You need to focus on your health. And I don't care how sick you are, and I don't care what you have to make changes. And this person did not make one change. And I am just stunned and amazed that you could have something that serious diagnosed and not make one change. I don't understand that at all. I knew I was laying in a hospital bed and I remember I was like, oh, the heart is a muscle. So I'll just work to strengthen my heart muscle. And they gave me 90 days because they were going to give me a defibrillator in my chest. And I did not want that. So I left. They wouldn't let me get out of the hospital without this portable defibrillator thing on. So I would ride the stationary bike. My mom had a stationary bike. I would just ride that for like 10 minutes, just to get my heart pumping. And if something were to go wrong, I had that thing on. And then I eventually, within that 90 days, I got up to 30 minutes, just getting my heart rate up, feeling good again. And yeah, that's what I did. And I rode the stationary bike, then I started walking, and then but I really changed my diet because food really is medicine, and you have to hunt to find good, healthy food. But if you're eating it and it's prepared by somebody else, the ingredients probably aren't great. You got to pay attention. Are they using seed oils? Seed oils cause inflammation. I don't care what they tell you. You shouldn't be eating most of these oils. I stick with uh, olive oil and check it because some of this olive oil isn't really olive oil. They're cutting it with other stuff because of the demand. They don't grow enough olives to meet the demand of olive oil. So make sure you get it from one region, and make sure it's real olive oil. You know, I grew up eating all kinds of oils and no one knew. But vegetable oil, soybean oil, most of that stuff you shouldn't. Canola, that's what soybean oil is. Like you shouldn't really. They're byproducts. Like you really, there's nothing healthy about them. It's like they're like motor oil. You shouldn't be eating those. I eat a lot of. If you go in my kitchen, you'll find coconut oil and olive oil, and occasionally avocado oil, and that's it. I battle inflammation all the time because I'm getting older, and we all have the same problems. You just have to be proactive about fixing them. And for me, there is no condition that can't be cured. Your body is designed to heal. You have to change the conditions to heal it, though. And food, it starts with food. For me, the beginning, middle, and the end is food. I healed myself with food, and dietary changes. I got my sister off of, she was on dialysis and she stayed with us while she was transitioning to get a new apartment or something. And I was like, dude, how are you eating? And I changed her whole diet. Like, don't eat. And this was just logical to me. If you're going to dialysis, you should not come home and eat a heavy meal of meat and protein, something that would make your body work all night to process. Because, this is your blood has been taken out of your body, cleansed, and returned to your body. The last thing it needs is to work hard on processing and digesting your food. So I would give her a gentle meal on dialysis days. Fresh fruits and vegetables, maybe a little light pasta, not a lot of meat, not a lot of heavy protein, good, good, delicious salad, you know. And she kept that up. And what really was amazing is when it was time for her to get a kidney transplant, the people ahead of her in the line were so sick, they weren't healthy enough to get the transplant, but she had been healthy enough to be able to receive a new kidney. She got hers in 2018. Like, you know, that's amazing. Food can heal your body, but it's work. You got to read labels, you got to be proactive, and you have to really do the work. You got to change. You got to change. And I can't believe it. eating what this person eats with a congestive heart failure diagnosis is that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. It really set me back all weekend. I was just thinking like this is fucked up. But anyway, if you are not well and you want to get well, you can. I really believe that. But you got to do the work. You just got to do the work. And some people don't want to, and I get that. I'm not judging anybody. I just know I wasn't ready to die from some punk ass diagnosis like high blood pressure. Everybody has high blood pressure. That is not like the epic story I want to leave behind. So, whatever health issue you have, it can be healed. I believe that. But you got to want to heal it. And you got to want to do the work. And it's hard. You know, people feel like they want to control what they can control, and food is one of those things. So if they want to eat hot dogs, they're going to eat hot dogs. Like I gave up. My mom was like, "I'm eating hot dogs." Okay. You're 80, you're half out of your mind. Well, you're 87, you're half out of your mind if you want a hot dog. The only reason why I stopped giving her hot dogs is because she got a bleeding ulcer. And hot dog is not a health food. And I had to stop giving her oranges because she loved oranges. And I was like, well, I'm not going to give her things that'll make her feel sicker, So we moved to a much gentler diet after that. But up until then, it was like, eat away. You want a hot dog. She loved hot dogs, man. And then you give it to her, she'd be like, this looks good. Does it? It's a hot dog with some mustard on it. She was so funny to me. I was like, here's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Oh boy, this is gonna be good. Is it? It's just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. She was so funny. I do miss her. At the end there, I would say, Ma, I love you. I love you too. And I was like, thank you, Ma. She didn't remember much a lot of the times, but she did remember she loved me. And what was funny is one time I was just trying to distract her. I was just trying to get her distracted because she didn't like me changing her and cleaning her and stuff. And I said, I love you. And she was like, I love you too. And I was like, but I love you more. And I was just saying it so she would, like do what I wanted her to do. And she looked at me. She was like, oh, no, you don't. I said, okay, Peggy. Okay. So, and I agree because I hate when people say I love you more. It's not a contest. Happy Monday.